with a chain on your brain, with niggas no playing. King Alfred plan, vaporize, no bodies laying. Got nations reclaiming republics back, constitution enforcing on the demo acts. Colored, can't be a verse, I'm a more first. Won't claim to be ham and catch that pork curse. Following black power that lost debates.
Islam.
Islam. Let's rise and do the honors before we get kicked off today. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice. Allah is our protector.
Allah is our protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his and holy prophet. Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
We're just going to start off today, as we know, the lecture today is with Brother Abdullah Talib Mosi Bey. I'm going to be dealing with the origin of Masonry, Christianity through geometry and astronomy, and it's titled Moorish Culture Unveiled. So being that the title of the lecture is going into us being open into the truth about these so-called religions and groups that people have out there, right, that are making claims that that's their stuff. We're going to read a chapter from what the Moors call the Red Book. And the Red Book is basically a second part of the Circle 7 Quran that was taken into the Arab chambers and kept away from the public, so that the people who were in charge at the time, after the Prophet left, because Noble Drew Ali gave the Moors everything and said that there's no secrets here, this is not a secret organization, we're going to give you everything that we need in order for you to save yourself. And he did that. And people took it on themselves to take things out of circulation, change stuff, change literature, just cause confusion. So a lot of our position is to bring forward a lot of this information that was supposedly hidden away in the Arab chambers that, Moors say, whatever happens in the Arab chamber is supposed to stay in the Arab chamber. When, Noble Drew Ali said that. When really what he said was that whatever happens in the Arab meetings stays in the Arab meetings, right? Because the Arab meetings and the Arab chamber is two different perspectives. The Arab chamber is where everybody's supposed to get to. The Arab meetings are the ones that are running the body of the temple, making sure everything is going, make sure you have a nationality card, make sure you have Holy Quran, make sure you have all the things that you need, right? Those people are the Arabs that have meetings. And those are closed-door meetings that only Arabs are involved with, because only the Arabs are going to know what they're talking about. And then there's general meetings where it's open to the public and everybody comes. So there's this book called the Red Book, right? We're going to read chapter 8, because chapter 8 is right in line with what Brother Abdullah is presenting today, and I think this is a good leeway to bring him in. So chapter 8 is called The Council of the Seven of the World. In every age since time began, but 7 sages lived. At first of every age, these sages met to note the course of nations, peoples, tribes, and tongues, to note how far towards justice and love the race has gone, to formulate the code of law, religious postulates, and plans of rule best suited to the coming age. An age had passed, and lo, another age had come. The sages must convene. Now Alexandria was the center of the world's best thought, and here in Philo's home the sages met. From China came Mengsti. From India, Vidyapati came. From Persia, Casper came. And from Assyria, Ashbina came. From Greece, Apollo came. Matheno was the Egyptian sage, and Philo was the chief of Hebrew thought. The time was due. The council met and sat in silence 7 days. And then Mengsti rose and said, "The wheel of time has turned once more. The race is on a higher plane of thought. The garments that our fathers wore have given out. The cherubim have woven a celestial cloth, have placed it on our hands, and we must make for men new garments. The sons of men are looking up for greater light. No longer do they care for gods hewn out of wood. They seek for Allah, not made with hands. They see the beams of coming days and yet comprehend them not. The time is ripe, and we must fashion well these garments for the race. And let us make for men new garbs of justice, mercy, and love, that they may hide their nakedness when shines the light of coming days. And Vidyapati said, our priests have all gone mad. They saw a demon in the wilds, and at him they cast their lamps. And they are broken up, and not a gleam of light has any priest for men. The night is dark. The heart of India calls for light. The priesthood cannot be reformed. It is already dead. Its greatest needs are graves and funeral chants. The new age calls for liberty, the kind that makes each man a priest, enables him to go alone and lay his offerings on the shrine of Allah. And Casper said, in Persia people walk in fear. They do the good for fear to do the wrong. The devil is the greatest power in our land, and through a myth, the handles on his knees both youth and age. Our land is dark, and evil prospers in the dark. Fear rides on every passing breeze and lurks in every form of life. The fear of evil is a myth, is an illusion and snare, but it will live until some mighty power shall come to raise the ethers to the plane of light. When this shall come to pass, the Magian land will glory in the light. The soul of Persia calls for light. Right, so that was the council of the seven of the world. Right? So, just like the prophet is teaching us, the times that we're living in right now, all the priests are mad, having people worshiping wood and crosses and all these abominations, right? The night is dark, the heart of the lands are dark, the priesthood cannot be reformed because it's already dead. And it's for man to become their own priest now. Right? It's for man to be the reverend. It's for man to be the prophet. Right? It's for man to be God. Right? To start godding again. Start being what our ancient foremothers and forefathers were.
Islam.
Right? So, in order to get us in the frame of mind so we can go out now and get the people that are out there practicing all these dead things, worshiping idols and all that, we have the master teacher, right? The first time that I heard Brother Abdullah, I was watching a DVD that our brother sent me in the mail with the bartering, the bartering system. I do the music, is that, what I mean? I got some DVDs, send me your music, I send DVDs. So he sent me a DVD of Brother Abdullah and Taj in Detroit, right? And, looking at the DVD, and a part of the DVD came when, because I was doing something, the DVD was just on, and there was a part in it, and then I heard somebody say something about white power.
Right. Get your attention.
Yeah, it got my attention because, right? Scratching my head, so I had to go back and rewind it again, rewind a little bit to really see what was going on, And when he said it, it resonated with me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was something that seemed right because, actually, if we're the white people, the people who claim to be pushing white power, they're really not the people that should be pushing white power. Right? So, from then sparked the interest, finally got in touch with the brother. He was very open to doing the class. He was very open to connecting with Canaanland Wars. He gave us, all these DVDs, right? Like he just said, here's some DVDs, so that way the people could be familiar with my teaching style, my presentation, and what I deal with. I'm gonna say that the brother has the website, morseciviletter.net as well. He's coming out with a book, Moors and Masonry, and that book is, well, he'll go into details. But without further ado, right, we wanna introduce and present for the family, our master teacher, our brother, Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey.
Islam.
Islam.
Turn the light, catch the lights.
Yeah.
Islam.
Islam.
All right, God. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum.
Very welcome.
Miyam. Come, that means come into the light. And you say, Miyam, I shall come.
Okay.
I shall come. Come into the light.
Yeah.
Miyam. I shall come.
I shall come.
Right, good. So that light is what is in us. That ancient, the Akashic records. The Akashic records is actually the DNA. And so we've been taught that the Akashic records is outside of us, though it is outside of us, but what's outside of us is within us. We are the reflection of what's outside of us. Now we've been indoctrinated to believe that we have to call on some power outside of us. And that entity is often referred to people as God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah.
No. Oh, you know what?
So I didn't know what happened.
No, we're here still. We're here. We're just taking off some lights.
All right, thank you. I'm new at this.
Yeah.
Don't skip that.
Okay.
Good. So what I'm going to do today is I want to spark the Akashic records. Do certain things that help you activate that DNA and stimulate the pineal gland. What happens is fear, through the misrepresentation of religion and masonry, it actually induces fear, and that inducement of fear suppresses the Akashic records or DNA in the pineal gland. Now, by giving a proper presentation of religion and masonry, it will actually give you insight to go into the Akashic records, because you will have a clear focus as to what to do, and you're not afraid. You're not afraid of your ancient culture. What the Europeans have done was distort meaning of words, taking them outside of the astronomical, cosmological, and geometrical meaning and application, and actually reduce them to various symbols of worship or words of worship. When these words are, i.e. God, Jew, Jesus, Christ, have actual functions in astronomy and geometry. And we're going to actually deal with that today. So when you say Jesus or God or Jew or Jehovah, you actually understand, or spirituality, you will understand the function of these words and begin to actually do the function. Actually will help you stimulate the pineal gland and activate the DNA.
Okay.
So I'm happy to be doing this presentation today, and I trust that I will help elevate your mind, so that you can elevate from your lower self to your higher self.
Islam.
So, Islam. Good. As Brother said, I have a book I'm working on. The brother who's with me right now, Josh, he's my layout designer, and he's also the one who designed my website.
Okay.
So it's actually great that he's here today. He's here just to assist me here. This is my first time doing Skype, and he's just assisting me getting it set up. He'll be leaving soon, once in a few minutes he'll be leaving. I feel now comfortable now. So I'm going to thank Josh for being here and helping me for doing the hard work with my website. And then I said he's going to be the one laying out my book.
One thing, brother, before you start, there's a little bit of feedback.
Just have to turn it down.
The mic is a little bit loud.
Just turn
It might be too loud. It might be me.
All right.
I need to start.
You can just put it
I
down.
need the mics are real close to me, so I need to bring it down. I can bring it down.
The volume maybe?
Sometimes I think I need to, all right, and my voice is better.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, I think I was speaking too loud by then.
That's good. No,
And
You're good, boy. You're good, Mark.
What I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna mute our mic so we don't get feedback either.
All right.
So you just go ahead and
Okay.
then whenever you have a question or something or whatever, just let me know and I'll unmute and we'll talk.
All right, no problem. No problem.
I think that
All right.
probably is it.
So let's, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start out with some words. Now we've been given a limited presentation or understanding of how to use a dictionary. One of the words that I often use is the word consider. Now when you go to a dictionary, this is the American Heritage Dictionary, and the back of this American Heritage Dictionary are Indo-European roots. I'll go right to it. In fact, I highly suggest you get this book. This is the Indo-European roots.
Good.
And I'll explain that.
Okay.
And this is the American Heritage Dictionary, and make sure you have the Indo-European roots in the back. Now, one of the words that has its origin in astronomy, marker. Where my other markers, Josh? Which one is the all right, come right here. Is the word consider. And what you would do to find the etymology of this word is go to the etymological brackets. These are the etymological brackets. And what you'll see is what we've been taught is to immediately go to the entry level meaning. So the entry level meaning. And when you read the entry level meanings, what you're reading here are the connotations. This is your distortion here. This is the beginning of the dumb down. Actually taking the word from its essence and actually stripping the word of its cultural context. They took the word out of its cultural context, that being astronomy, and got you looking at it from abstract. So where they went from the concrete to the abstract. The word consider means to observe the stars. Sierra means star. The prefix CON means with. Together like. So you're observing the stars. So you're making a consideration. You go to an ephemeris. An ephemeris is a table of planetary calculations, positions of the daily positions of planets. Now, the ephemeris, however, is limited in that it only deals with the planets. What you want to do, you also want to have an understanding of the stars, i.e. Sirius, Polaris, Polis, Arcturus, Betelgeuse, you have Orion. And so this here does not have that information to become out of the stars here. So this is limited. The stars are very important to agriculture and to predicting weather. So understanding, charting the position, the daily positions are important, but this book here does not do it. So you want to also get an ephemeris as well as a book that deals with star positions. All right, so I just want to expand your knowledge base. I just don't want to just talk about the ephemeris here. All right, this is limited. This is good, but there's a limitation here.
Also, too, sorry, Mark. Could you also spell the title of the book? Because
yes.
It's kind of coming up blue.
Yes, EPHEMERIS. That's the American ephemeris. Now this one here is from 1900 to 2000.
Repeat that.
You're repeating
Yes.
one more time?
E-M as in Mary, E-R-I-S, ephemeris.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
This is from 1900. This is from 1900 to 2000. You can get an ephemeris. You can go back 1,000 years. You can go back 2,000 years. You get there's computer programs that you can purchase. Well, you can go back. I said 500 years, 100 years. So where were the positions of the planets 200 years ago? You just get a computer program and you just chart that and you put that in there. All right, but this book is from 1900 to 2000. You can also go backwards as well as project in the future. All right, so therefore that would make us prophets. We'll be prophets or sorcerers or witches. And so we're dealing with wicked. We're also looking at this information is key as far as making projections. But as I said before, this book is limited and it only deals with planets. Keep in mind that we aren't taught about the stars in school. We're taught about planets, how far the planets are, what the names of the planets are, how big the planets are, what the planets are made of, its composition or physics of the planets. But we never taught about stars. Sirius, the dog star, Sirius A, B, and C, Polaris, which is the North Star, or Taurus, the Valentine star, Betelgeuse. You have Orion's belt. You have Pegasus, Pollux. So we're not taught about the stars, and the stars are very important in agriculture. Very important. So we're given very limited education, very limited. All right. So I just want to open up your mind and set your mind right, and so that we can begin to look at religion and masonry in the proper perspective. That we're not looking at masonry and religion as some worshiping system and looking at the symbols as mere symbols. In fact, the symbols are not symbols; they are actual astronomical tools. What the Europeans have done was reduce the symbols, i.e., the cross, the compass and the square, the hex alpha. They actually reduced them into mere symbols of worship. And what I want to focus on is put those symbols and put those images, which are actual measurement tools, in their proper perspective. I.e., now, we haven't been taught to view a ruler as a symbol, right? Is a ruler a symbol or is it a tool? Do you wear a ruler around your neck? We don't wear rulers around our neck, do we?
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We don't wear rulers around our neck, do we? No.
No.
Anybody wear a ruler around the neck?
No. No.
What about a hammer? Do you wear a hammer around your neck?
No.
A hammer has a function.
Yes.
A ruler has a function. A ruler has a function that is a measurement instrument.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Good. All right. So, what about an astrolabe? Astrolabe is an astronomical navigational instrument.
Mm-hmm. No.
A quadrant, a sextant. Now you can actually go get it. A necklace and having a sextant on it, but we don't want to be confused and lose its true meaning and true function. Well, what was done with the cross, the compass and the square. You have brothers who wear the compass and square on a jacket, or they'll have it on a hat, or they'll have the compass and square on a building. And they'll say, well, that's a Masonic symbol. But what is its function? What is its function in society? And its function in society that it deals with agriculture and astronomy. All right, so I'm going to setting myself up, setting so that the template of where I'm going to go with this lecture. All right, so we go back to the word consider. So keep in mind that the word consider is in the context of using an ephemeris as well as a table of star chart. You go to NASA or the naval observatory and look up star charts, the daily position of stars.
Okay.
All right, because the Navy has an observatory. So does NASA. So that's where you actually get that information, and that information is gathered, and calendars are made. Weather's predicted based off that, even to be able to determine where to lay out cities. That information is used to do that. So everything we did and everything that's done today is based off consulting the stars. It's their daily positions, it's their future positions, the alignment of planets. That is the foundation of ancient civilization, ancient world culture. And so then once again, this knowledge has been reduced to symbols. This knowledge is preserved in symbols. It is also preserved in allegories, preserved in rituals, preserved in ceremonies, preserved in the layout of cities, in architectural design of buildings. All right, so we're going to get more into detail. All right, let's get busy. So now we got understanding that this, what you see here in the entry-level meaning of the word consider. As I said, the word consider means to observe the stars carefully. If you look the word consider up in the modern English dictionary and read the entry-level meanings, it will read to ponder, to think, to observe, but no reference to star will be placed here in the entry-level meaning. No reference to star. So the astronomical significance of the word consider is lost. The opposite, the antonym or opposite of the word consider is disaster. When you don't consult the stars, the is the prefix, means away. Aster is the Greek word for star. So away from the stars. So disaster occurs when the stars are not in alignment. When there's not an alignment, a proper alignment of stars, that's when the disaster occurs. When you don't consult an ephemeris or a star chart, disasters occurs because you're not doing things in harmony with nature's law and nature's God. So this is we understand that how civilization, what knowledge base that our ancestors used to build and maintain civilization. What is masonry? What is religion? What is religion in the true sense? What is masonry in the true sense? And the masses of people throughout the world have been indoctrinated with the false sense of masonry and religion and thinking that it's some symbol of worshiping. Now and it's good that y'all prayed today, all right? But what we want to do is learn how to truly pray. What is prayer? All right? We've been indoctrinated into believing that saying a bunch of words is where the power is. That we're looking outside ourselves, some entity we call God. We'll bring their mountain down to Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Confucius, and we're praying to Buddha, Confucius, Allah, and we're looking for something to affect our lives upon making that prayer. It ain't gonna happen.
It's not.
Whereas those who understand the science of activating DNA in the pineal gland know that that's false. They gave the masses that to keep them busy. They gave the masses that they removed the science of mental development, of how to activate the pineal gland and the DNA, and got the people thinking that they said a bunch of words and then that's the power. Absolutely not. Now, you can in turn say a bunch of words, but the problem is that our pineal gland is calcified. Our DNA is deactivated. Once we activate the DNA and stimulate the pineal gland, now what you say will now have power. You ever seen movies? Just trying to break it down so you can understand it. You see movies that we think is make believe, where you have the bewitch. All right. Well, she would twinkle her nose. All right. Or you could say abracadabra or say a few words. Well, that we have that capacity. We have that capability. The problem is that it's not saying abracadabra that does it. What it is that it's activating the DNA and stimulating the pineal gland that does it. So we've been giving a false diet. We've been giving a false presentation of religion and masonry. And what the Europeans have done, knowing how to calcify or to deactivate the pineal gland and DNA, they use fear, because fear has a higher wavelength. Let's look at this. I want to make this clear, so I want to talk over anybody's head. All right? All right, this wavelength refers to fear. It has a higher wavelength and it's therefore a shorter vibration. Love, in turn, has a shorter wavelength, therefore a higher vibration. More, we need to learn to love instead of hate. Why did you already say that? That's a metaphysical statement. That's metaphysical. So I'm going to explain that. The love having a higher vibration, it actually what does is stimulates the pineal gland. The fear suppresses the divine mind. This is why the Europeans invoke fear. This is why they suppress the ancient meaning of words and apply a distorted connotated meaning, taking you away from the science, so that you will not be able to activate the pineal gland. It's fear that does it. So the misrepresentation of religion and masonry suppresses the pineal gland or divine mind. Thereby, you will not be able to activate or connect with the Akashic records. Connecting with the Akashic records is in turn connecting with our ancestors. We've been taught that, calling our ancestors' name out is connecting with the ancestors. No. Activating the DNA is connected with our ancestors. Why? Because the cellular memory is where our ancestors, that information is stored in our cellular memory. The information to build the pyramids, the information to lay out cities based on the astronomical relationship or dimensions of the earth, moon, and sun, that's stored in our DNA. So actually, all we need to know is in our DNA. The problem is that we have to activate it. There's an ancient scale called the solfeggio scale. Just warming y'all up. Y'all see that? The solfeggio scale. The musical scale that the musicians that taught in the schools throughout the country or throughout the world, is because this is actually, what they did was, there was an international conference whereby it was an agreement to use this modern scale worldwide. When we talk about the world is asleep, not just our people, the world. All right? And the agreement was made to use this modern scale that we use today. And why? Because the ancient scale actually activates the DNA. It's the letter C, the current C that we're taught. It's at 112 hertz. The agency is 128 hertz. 128 hertz. So they, with conscious effort, worldwide, they suppress this ancient scale, this ancient musical scale. And this ancient musical scale will activate the DNA through crystals, through music, proper dieting, through geometry, colors, shapes. It's all frequency. So having the right frequency, tone, having the right frequency will activate the DNA. So this is key. So they gotta keep us, they gotta bombard us, with music that does not activate the DNA. They gotta keep invoke fear to suppress us so that we can maintain the suppression of our DNA and pineal gland. So let's get down to some symbols here. How am I doing?
Doing great.
You're doing good, Moore. You're doing good. You're doing well.
Right on. Right on. Who's ever seen this? The headdress, and as well as the staff. We're gonna focus on the headdress and the staff. We're gonna talk about the astronomy. I'm gonna give you the astronomical meaning of the headdress and staff. This headdress is called a minor. All right? And you look at the staff, it's a lion's tail. Staff here, a lion's tail. So yeah, that minor is in the form of a fish. Fish and lion. All right, let's talk about the astronomy. All right, before I give you that, I'm going to give you a quote. On this church, on this rock, I shall build my church. On this rock, on this rock, I shall build my church. All right. The Pope. What's the new Pope's name? Benedict?
Francis.
Francis, thank you.
Yeah, Francis. Pope Francis.
Pope Francis. Well, Pope Francis now sits in the chair of St. Peter. St. Peter. Now, we're going to see. Let's go to the etymology. St. Peter coming from the Egyptian word patah. Patah. All right? And that's what patah means. Mound. Patah means mound, referring to the mound builders or stone masonry. Stone masons. So looking at, so the chair of St. Peter actually is our chair. What they did was, family, is that the Europeans took a pre-existing ancient structure and just took over. They didn't establish anything. The Europeans did not establish that order. They took over the order. They took over the sovereign power. They took over the throne. They didn't establish. That's not theirs. That's not theirs. That's not their power. That's yours. That's not theirs.
Islam.
They took over a throne that's yours. So they got us focused on that. That's their stuff. That's their power. That's their throne. That's their headdress. That's yours.
Islam.
All right? So my point is, claim it with knowledge. Have the astronomical and geometrical knowledge of it. And so we're ready to dismiss things because we don't know the origin of anything. And this is why they're kicking our butts. And so we dismiss things, i.e. the headdress symbols, offhand, because we've been given their presentation of it. See, of course they're going to lie to you and say they started with the Greeks, it started with the Romans. Of course they're going to lie to you. Why? Because they're claiming it. They know the power behind it. They know the sovereign power and the metaphysical power of it. So now I want you to know as well. I want you to be able to activate your DNA and your pineal gland. And you can do it with what? Knowledge. With understanding a proper presentation of masonry and religion. A lot of things you'll go into your conscious record, you start telling me certain things. But it's just, once you're properly orientated to make what masonry really is and what religion really is, you begin to see things that you that you've seen all your life. And now I'm looking at, I say see twice, but you see in two different contexts. See things, all right, that you've seen all your lives. The problem is you've seen it with this eye, these eyes, and not this eye. Now we're going to begin to see it with this eye, the third eye, the pineal gland. So it's right in front of you, right in plain sight. But we can't see. That's the problem. So Drew Ali came along to what? Help us see again. And this is why Cujo missioned me to do this, so that we can what? See again.
Islam.
Now, on this rock I shall build my church. The rock is Patah, referring to the mound builders or stonemasons. And we use what? The compass and the square, geometry, to build the pyramids, didn't we?
Islam.
There we go. Now look at this. The so-called Pythagorean theorem. The so-called Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right? Given a right triangle, you have your tangent. Opposite side equals opposite side over adjacent side. You have your opposite side, your hypotenuse, and your adjacent side. All right? You have sine, opposite side over hypotenuse. Cosine. Adjacent side over hypotenuse. This is trigonometry. Now, trigonometry is taught in schools. However, spherical trigonometry is not taught. Right? I write it down. Spherical trigonometry. We're going to get back to this statement here. This is the context. It's called spherical trigonometry. And I got a book here, and for a while, where is it? Also have a planetary calendar, but we're going to get that as well. This here, this is little chip. I've had this book for a long time. I bought it at a flea market. It's called Little Ship Astro Navigation. Well, Little Ship was a name of a club, astronomy club, the European style. And it has the standard spherical triangle. You see trigonometry here. And he developed this class to teach the people astronomy and navigation. So spherical trigonometry is used in astronomy and navigation. And I'm going to show you that the astronomical devices that's presented as symbols is tied to this knowledge. All right. We'll move right along here. Have you ever seen, let's stay on this here. Let's talk about spherical trigonometry, and let's look at a symbol that's used in astronomy and Royal Arc Mason. I'll write it down. Royal Arc Masons. Royal Arc Masons. The Royal Arc Masons have, we'll see here, let's start the triple tall. It's called the triple tall. All right, the triple tall, there's three of these. That's a tower. That's the 19th letter of the Greek alphabet. Now, you see this here. Circle, triangle within a circle. All right, and the triple tower. You ever seen that before?
No. No.
You ever seen that on any brother's net?
No.
No. All right. So let's talk about what it means. Let's talk about what it means. Now they got us thinking that deals with spherical trigonometry, astronomy, and geometry. It's just not a symbol that they wear around the neck. A Royal Arc Mason symbol. All right, so let's talk about this. Now, this book is connected to this. I'm putting all this in context now. The key is to put this in the proper context. All right? So we're going to put this here, the ephemeris, connected with this symbol. All right? The angular relationship of arcs, so we're looking at Royal Arc. All right? And Royal Arch. All right? Now that's arc. Look at that arc of measurement. Arc of measurement is what you do in astronomy. When you measure planets or if you're measuring the positions between two stars, or you're measuring the daily positions of stars. You measure in relationship to arc of measurements. It's called arc of measurements. So hence, Royal Arc Masons. So what they did was they preserved the astronomy right in the name of the organization. So when you do any study in astronomy, and you want to learn how to measure planets or measure stars, you measure based on arc. So here we go. We're going to talk about the arc and the tall. Let's compare the arc and the tall. Here we go. So we're going to go back to this back on the board. All right. This down there. All right. So, it's tall. All right. Here's your arc right here. A job. Now, what is this here? When you're looking at, once again, you're looking at measuring planets in relationship to arc. So this is here, where what's called also a semicircle. Let me show you this picture right there. Islam, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with I think you're dropping it too hard and they're messing with the picture. So I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call you back.
All right, let me go. My man's not here.
Okay.
You said the signal's dropping?
Yeah, the signal's getting weak or something. Because your picture's starting to pixelate.
All right, let me see. This might be in my end. How do I do this? You told me to check something.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that?
It's still pixelated a little bit, but it's better than it was, so you can go ahead now.
All right. All right.
Full screen.
This picture here was taken at George Washington Masonic National Memorial Museum in Alexandria, Virginia. In fact, those pictures are on my website, moresimulator.net. So you go to my website, you'll walk in, you'll saw my website on the screen, and you can go to the photo gallery, and you'll see a host of pictures. I'm going to be explaining these pictures, explaining the astronomy. All right, explaining these pictures here. And these pictures are in the Royal Ark room, the Royal Ark room. All right, so when I went to this museum with Taj, Williama, and Brother Alim, Brother Williama has transitioned back in '97. We were on our way back from North Carolina, and when I first saw these pictures, we first went into this room. I had no idea what this meant. I mean, you know, I'm looking at it. We took pictures of it. These pictures were taken more recently, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. But we took other pictures, and I was just, perplexed about what they mean. No longer am I perplexed. I know what this means. All right? I know what these pictures mean, and you will too after the day. All right? And so there you go again. That's that. I have a better picture of it. This is what they wear around the neck.
Okay.
All right? That's what they call a Royal Mason symbol, but it's actually yours. It refers to as spherical trigonometry, geometry, and astronomy. All right. Now, tall is an ancient unit, ancient system of measurement. You know about pi. You know about pi. All right, I'm going to put that. You know about pi. What? 3.14, right?
Yeah.
Now, tall. All right, so pi is what? How do you find pi? Pi is the measure of the circumference in relationship to its diameter.
Right. Yes.
That's pi. Tall is the measure of circumference in relationship to the radius. So this deals with the diameter and the circumference, tall, diameter, and the radius. So this is the ancient system here. This is the ancient system of measurement. And when you look at that tall, all right, we have here 1/4 of a circle. All right, so that's T over 4. All right, 1/2 of a circle. All right, which is T over 2. 3/4 of the circle, which is T over 4. All right, and this is the whole circle. We have 1/12, 1/8 of the circle. So you use that T here. So this here, this tall, it deals with, once again, it deals with measurement. It's geometry. It's just not a mere symbol that they wear around their neck. All right. So their ankh. It is true that the ankh is a symbol of life, but my brother and sister, it's a tool. It's a tool that deals with measurement, that it has a function. It's just not a mere symbol of, well, that's a symbol of life. You know, the symbol of the fallopian tube. It is that too. But it has a meaning relating to astronomy and geometry. So the total, all right, you place that here. All right, we have this arc. Once again, when you measure stars, you measure what? Them and this arc of what? Measurements. All right, that's your arc. All right? That's your arc. There's your arc again. That's your tall. Here's your arc. Here's your arc. Here's your arc. So you use this knowledge here of tall, all right? Tall is, once again, is what? The circumference in relationship to the radius. Pi is what? The measurement of the circumference and what? Relationship to the diameter. So we have pi and tall. All right? So tall is the ancient system. Pi is 2. Tall is the ancient system. Tall is not taught often. So this here, we have two angels, what they call angels. Well, the word angel is what? Angle. Angle. So the planets, so to find, let's go back to this again, to find the angular relations of planets, sextile, so you have a sextile. A sextile is what, y'all? 60 degrees of separation. So the angular relationship of two planets is 60 degrees. A square is what? A square is 90 degrees. So in masonry, they stand up, go Islam. You stand at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
Y'all still at a 90-degree angle, right?
Yeah.
But that 90-degree angle relates to geometry and astronomy. And also going back to this, y'all. Why 90 degrees? Why do you stand on 90 degrees and say your prayer? All right? Because you're emulating geometry. You're emulating this ancient system of measurement. So look, if you give the right angle, all right, give the right angle, all right, all you need is have two sides. All right? Here, the tangent, you have what? The opposite side, and you have the adjacent side. All right? The side, you have the opposite side, and you have the hypothesis. You have to find what? The adjacent. The cosine, you have the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypothesis. Therefore, you have to find the opposite. So you need two sides. You need two sides. So, given the right angle, once again, you say your prayer, 90 degrees, this is what it refers to. What I'm doing is placing its meaning. The astronomy and geometry of Masonry and Christianity. Placing the stance, the symbol, the rituals, the headdress, replacing that into its proper ancient perspective. This is what they removed, y'all. This is what they removed this. This knowledge was removed. So therefore you have a system of worshiping. They're now merely worshiping these. They reduced astronomical and geometrical instruments to mere symbols of worship. They removed the astronomy and trigonometry, geometry, cosmology. What I'm doing is what? Restoring the astronomy, trigonometry, spherical trigonometry, plane geometry, cosmology, restoring it, and so that you can what? See again. So that way, you're not afraid of it. You're not just sitting looking at it as mere workshopping, which means work anyway. All right. Move right along. So the word angle, once again, angel and angle are related. So we're looking at the relationship between two planets. The 90 degrees of separation is a square. Opposite is what? 100. Opposite is 180 degrees. That means two planets are opposite. 180 degrees of separation of each other. They're facing each other. A conjunction, all right, is 0 degree separation. Conjunction. 2, we have planets. We have 0 degrees of separation. So say that Pluto and Saturn conjunct. That means they're close to each other, when there's 0 degrees of separation. Uranus and Neptune are opposite. 180 degrees of separation. We have Pluto and Pluto here. All right, sign Pluto and Saturn. Square, Pluto square Saturn. 190 degrees of 90 degrees of separation. And you use the knowledge of geometry, opposite square, spherical trigonometry to measure the distance. You go to this book in ephemeris to see where they are, where the planets are aligned at any particular time of the day or any time of year. And once again, you go 100 years in the future, 200 years in the future, you can go back. All right, so you want to have family planning. You want to know what's good for the family. We want to do some things 2 years from now. All right, well you use the ephemeris and you actually draw the chart. You create a chart that will be projected 2 years from now. Where will the planets be aligned in Canada? What part of Canada?
Toronto.
Toronto. All right, where will the planets be aligned? So we're Canada. We're looking at 2 years from now. We want to create a natal chart that will project 2 years into the future, and we will use that chart to guide our destiny. We will plan our events based on this knowledge. This is how it's done. This is basically religion. This is basically religion.
Brother Abdullah.
It's not. Yes.
So a question, so is it also a corruption when people use astronomy and do your natal chart, but don't base it on anything other than your individual person? Like your natal chart is broader than what?
Absolutely. Yes. You construct your natal chart. You know the time you were born, where you were born, time, place, and you need your time, your place, and year, date, year, and place. And then from there you construct the natal chart. And from that natal chart, you can plan what you want to do with your life. What relationship you want to get into, what will be the best person, the best job for you, activities for your children. You have a family plan, you do a natal chart, you do the natal chart for each individual in the family, and you do a family chart. A family chart, and we have progressions. And you what was called progressions or transits. And so you look at 5 years from now, you can do a transit in intervals of 5 years. And this is how you do, my daughter wants to get married in 2 years, or so forth. Or they want to go into this field. Well, that might not be the best field for them. So you actually, everything you do based off this here. I mean, no decisions are arbitrary decisions. You are what? Making a consideration. To not making a consideration, what happens? Disaster is away from the stars. If you're not making consideration, what are you doing? You're going to have disaster.
Right.
So I'm just trying to break it down to some everyday function. Not speak over your head about it, not mystify it. All right? How am I doing?
Good.
Islam.
Good. Is there another question on the floor?
No, not yet.
Ask this.
All right, good.
Ask this question. Is this the same chart that psychics use to find out what's?
We're going to stay on with the.
Because God
Finish up the word of art.
and your psychic.
We'll finish up with our masonry. All right? So we already focus on this. So we have the circle, the triangle. Let's go with the triangle. I got with the triangle. All right? Let's do with these four. We have the lion, the bull, we have the man, and the eagle. All right, here we go. Four great seasons. Four great seasons, 600, 6,000. 4, 8, 12, 16. No. 4,600, 4,680. 4,680. 4,680. 4,680, 4,680. No, that's not right. I was right. 6,480. 6,480. 6,480. All right. This adds up to 25,920, which is the great year. The great year is broken down to the four great seasons. All right, here we go. We have the lion denotes, that's Leo, Taurus, the man, Aquarius, Scorpio.
And Brother Abdullah, could you
And you actually see,
could you put that?
yes,
Could you put the picture closer to the camera a little bit?
yes. I'll do that for now. I apologize. Thank you. Yes, I definitely need to let me know that.
No problem.
All right. So this picture is taken from the Royal Art Mason's room at the George Washington Masonic National Monument Museum. Now, what you'll see these four pictures here at the entrances of a lot of cathedrals and churches. And that when you see these four pictures, all right, you'll see the sun, what they call Jesus, right, surrounded by these four pictures, these four images. And that's the theme of the cathedral. That's like the introduction to a book, letting you know what the theme is of the architecture. All right, so we're going to talk about Jesus. And we'll break that down. So it's broken down to four great seasons: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All right? So this is also translated to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. It's all astronomy. So now we're going to let's get down. Let me erase this. We're going to stay on this theme. All right, let's break this down, y'all. You move further. Here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. It's not perfect. I'm not an artist. We have 36 deacons. What our ancestors did was we mapped the sky out to 36 deacons. 36, a deacon is what? That's 10. Right? So 36 times 10 is what? 360 degrees. 360 degrees. So each quadrant Each quadrant, all right, is 6,480 miles. 6,480 years and 6,480 miles. So now we're looking at space and time. Relationship between space and time. Each one of these is 2,160 years. 2,160 years times 3 gives you 6,480. 2,160 times 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gives you what? 25,920. All right? That's 25,920 miles, 25,920 years. The vernal equinox moves 30 degrees every 2,160 years. The vernal equinox moves 1 degree every 72 years. Every 72 years, so 72 times 10 is 720. So deacon is what?
10.
10 degrees. A deacon is 10 degrees. So it moves 1 degree every 72 years. The vernal equinox moves 1 degree every 72 years. So it moves, in 720 years, it moves what? 10 degrees. And, all right? So you have 10, 10, 10. So here you have what? Your deacons. 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. That gives you 30 degrees, or 29 degrees and 59 minutes. 29 degrees or 59 minutes. And so this is broken down to 2,160, 2,100, no, 720, 720, 720, 720 times 3 gives you 2,160. Let me make that clearer. Make that clear. I want to be clear. 1, 2, this. 1, 2, 3. This is 720, 720, 720. That's 720 years and 720 miles. Space and time. So now we're going to see here the relationship between space and time and how they're coordinated. The rule, anybody know about the rule of 72? Anybody know the rule of 72?
No.
They use in calculating interest using finance. The rule of 72.
Rule of 72.
Now you know 72. 72 comes out to what? 7 plus 2 is 9. All right, you'll see that these numbers come out to 9. So that's 720 times 3 equals, once again, 6,480. And this relates to miles, this relates to years and miles. So this knowledge here that we use to, once again, what's that? Are we good on this end?
Yes.
All right. All right, good. So going back to this picture here, and what I did was, I simply reduced the numbers, starting out with the great year, 25,920, and breaking the great year up down into 4 great seasons. Each great season is 6,480, and then even breaking it down further. So I give you the increments and the breakdown, and how it ties to this. All right. You also see this picture here. And as well in this picture. All right. Now you see the triangle. And that triangle once again. This is an equilateral triangle. So let's give it an equilateral triangle. Pick one. Equal, lateral, triangle. $60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 180, right? And this 60 degrees, then you have a sextant. What's a sextant? A sextant is a navigational instrument. And that sextant is what gauges that 60 degrees. And how that's tied. You have your dual trine, 180 plus 180 is 360. So here, we have 3 individuals here, and then you see, I don't have a picture of it, but in the Blue Lodge, I don't have a picture. In the Blue Lodge at the George Washington Masonic National Memorial Museum, you actually see an altar on a checkerboard floor, white and black checkerboard floor. And that altar has 3 candlesticks. This is replicated or resembling of the 3 candlesticks. The altar and the 3 candlesticks. Now that 3 candlesticks relate to astronomy. On July 4th, which is the Egyptian New Year, you have the alignment of great celestial conjunction. And you have in Masonry, they have what's called the winding staircase. There's 3 steps to steps. There's 3 steps to steps. The first step, you have 3, 5, and 7. And then you have the all-seeing eye, 3, 5, 7, and all-seeing eye. All right? So you have 3 sets of steps. That denotes Orion, the 3-point stars of Orion's belt. The 5 sets of steps in the winding staircase in Masonry, Taurus. The 7 sets for ladies.
What was it called?
Ladies.
Thank you.
All right? So now, this is what it relates to. So Washington, D.C. and the Vatican are laid out in relationship to this alignment. This here, the 3 candlesticks, and these 3 images, 3 people relate to the alignment, and this actually forms a triangle. Actually forms a triangle. And here's that triangle again. So you have that triangle and these 3 individuals. So these 3 individuals are in relationship to Orion, Taurus, and Pleiades. And they're lying in the sky and actually form a triangle. The obelisk, the Capitol building, and the White House. And on July 4th, you actually see that alignment of Taurus, Orion, Taurus, and Pleiades. And then and Sirius rises right above the obelisk on July 4th. And that's what's called the Egyptian year. And the colors of Sirius is red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. So they even took your colors too. They took your colors too. They took your colors. They took your colors, red, white, and blue, and then you think it belongs to them. I thought it was red and green. That too. Also red, white, and blue. But I thought it was red and green. That too. Also red, white, and blue. Also red, white, and blue. Why? Because that's the color of Sirius. Sirius flickers as red, white, and blue. So once again, the flags throughout the world, the flags, the medals, the medals, the military medals, coat of arms are based in astronomy. They all have astronomical meaning. So when you're looking at star flags throughout the world, you're looking at astronomy. It's astronomical calculations. Once again, astronomy is encoded in everything. Everything. Our ancestors preserved the knowledge of astronomy and geometry in the architecture of buildings, in the layout of cities, in the maps, in the flags, in medals, in rituals, is encoded in everything. That is the foundation of our science. That is more science. So when you say more science, I don't want you just to walk around loosely going down the term, more science, more science, more science. And I said more science. What is more science? No, more science. Look, what is more science? You know more science. I want you to break it down without breaking it down today.
Study of the stars.
And even go beyond me. Do a better job. All right? So I'll just give you some keys to what duality was referring to. And duality said study, study, and study. And this is another picture that's in the blue art room. You see that here? And then that's what you look at here. Now the cube, and that refers to a cube right here. The cube is an ancient unit of measurement. The cube is an ancient unit of measurement. Cube. You also have cubic. It's an ancient unit of measurement. And you can actually see a cube in Mecca, right?
Yes.
What they call Mecca.
Right.
And they go around what? The Kaaba. And the Kaaba is a cube. But they got people worshiping it. That's the problem. They worshiping it. They don't know the geometry and astronomy that's connected to that. Knowing that a cube is an ancient unit of measurement that we use to lay out cities. And so they're worshiping this cube. That's the problem. They moved the astronomy and geometry. Got people worshiping, not knowing, worshiping. All right, so this is why this is revered. It's revered because it's an ancient system of measurement. I revere it too, but I'm not worshiping it. We need to revere it, meaning that they're preserving it. You don't need to worship the mathematics. You don't worship geometry. You apply geometry. You don't worship astronomy. You apply astronomy. You don't worship chemistry. You apply chemistry, physics, biology. You don't worship. You what? Apply. For what? So that you can eat. So you can build. You lay out cities to measure. That's what it is, fam. I ain't done. You know I'm not. All right. So that's these are here once again. pictures you see at the Royal Art Masons, George Washington Masonic National Memorial Museum in Alexandria, Virginia. All right? Now I want you to understand what these are. I don't want you to be mystified. All right? Now this one here, this is also in that Royal Mason. Let's break this down. All right, here we go. Now this is rather simple here. All right. What do you see there, y'all? What do y'all see?
Three spaceships.
What do you see?
It's kind of blurry.
What do you see?
It's kind of blurred. You have to put it a little closer.
I see three spaceships.
This here, this here. What is this form? What is this form here?
Could you put it up a bit more? There we go.
What is it for? These two. This one and this one.
Oh.
What's that?
What's it for?
That stone hand?
Columns or something.
Pillars.
Triangles. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
You see it?
Not
Oh,
the pillars, but the track. Yeah,
I don't know how to say it. I know what it is. I don't know how to say it.
You see it?
I know what it is.
You need a picture.
Is it the 90 degrees?
It's a triangle.
Yeah. It's the 90 degrees
It forms
triangle.
like a triangle. Right, with 90 degrees. There you go.
Yes.
A right triangle. It actually forms a right triangle.
Yes.
Okay.
Right in our face.
Woogie, play that shit.
Jello Beats, holla at 'em.
NBPP, ain't BPP. I'm telling y'all, no win with a lawyer, so don't ask me.